Hello and welcome back to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe and all of those things. All support to the channel is always very much appreciated. So in this video we are obviously taking a look at Marvel Legends What If Captain Carter. Now I for one was a huge fan of the show, so I'm really excited to have a look at this wave. So the first figure in the wave that I'm taking a look at is Captain Carter. What does she come with? She obviously comes with her shield and she comes with the Watcher Build-A-Figure arms. Now, I'm going to have a look at the Watcher in a later video, so I'm not going to get into too much detail about these. One thing I do want to point out is that you can see that they're pinless, which is really cool. I'm really looking forward to putting him together, but I'll do that in a later video. So, the shield. Yeah, the details on it are really nice. There's straps on the back, so obviously there's no peg hole. However, it does feel quite thin. It feels quite flimsy, and it's a lot smaller than the Captain America shields that we've had previously. I should have got one for comparison, but I did forget. But yes, there is no peg hole in her back, so the shield cannot go on her back. However, she is pinless on legs and arms, which is a nice addition. Now, I think the real standout part of this particular figure is her head sculpt. It's a really nice likeness to Hayley Attwell and really represents the character in the cartoon really well. It's got all of that kind of cartoon likeness in the hair and obviously the features and the structure, etc. But it does capture Hayley Attwell quite nicely. Now the articulation in her is what you would expect from a 6-inch figure. Obviously you've got double jointed knees, you've got double jointed elbows, you've got the waist, you've got the shoulders, the ankle pivots, the neck pivots, etc. So all of the standard points of articulation that you would come to expect in this figure. Now she's got two hands, there's no alternate hands, there's a closed fist on her right arm and there's like an open palm on her left. Now in regards to the shield, it's not a tight fit, you've got to kind of manipulate the elbow and the wrist around a little bit so that it doesn't fall off. So I'm going to have a little play with that at a later date. And this open palm is obviously intended to hold on to something. Now if you checked out my earlier video of the Hydra Stomper, see there we go, the shield fell straight off. But if you checked out my earlier video of the Hydra Stomper, you'll see that there was a handle on the back of the Hydra Stomper that the guys at the Marvel Legends team showed us, and that was put intentionally so that Captain Carter could hold on to the back of the Hydra Stomper like she did in the show. So I'm looking forward to actually giving that a shot and seeing what she looks like on the back of the Hydra Stomper. Now this isn't the first time that we've seen Peggy Carter. We obviously got an earlier release of her based on her look in the MCU films, and this is her here in her kind of World War II get-up. Now I thought that this figure at the time was really nice and really captured Hayley Attwell's look quite nicely, but when you stand them side by side it's not anywhere near as attractive as the animated version of Captain Carter, which is a real shame, because it instantly looks like that earlier figure isn't as good. And there's the Hydra Stomper as well. I'm just going to bring him in just for size comparison. I'm not going to adjust the camera, but you can see that she only comes up to his waist. Now she is much bigger. If you look at her compared to her earlier release, you can see that she is much bigger than sort of your standard female figure, which is great because obviously in the show that was the case as well. Now the heads are different sizes. I've got them sort of behind each other here, so that's not a true representation, but you can see there side by side the heads are completely different sizes, so it's not like you could even swap them around and sort of have an earlier and later version of her. Now it would have been nice if we could put the shield on the back, but obviously we can't. Now if I just take this jetpack off of the Hydra Stomper, I'll show you that handle that I was talking about. There it is. Now I'm assuming that this hand is going to fit quite nicely. Now it's actually quite loose, I'm gonna admit. Yeah, it's actually quite loose. I think it's obviously there more as an intentional kind of holding on as opposed to actually holding on. Now what I have noticed is there isn't actually anywhere for her feet to go. Now logic would tell me that she would stand on the back of his calves here, but when I put the jetpack back on, you can see that logistically that wouldn't work. The flames would obviously burn her legs and her boots. So I'm not 100% sure how she's going to fit on the back. I think probably sort of crouched. Yeah, maybe like a crouched up the top somehow, but I'll just lay her down on top there so you can see that she does hold on and she kind of fits as well. Now her articulation is good, but the articulation isn't good enough that I could have her up in a real crouched down position like she was in the show. So I really am going to have a play around with that off camera and take a little bit longer than the 5 minutes to do so. But all in all, she's a really nice figure. She's definitely kind of one of the main characters of the series and was definitely an anticipated figure when the wave was announced. So me personally, I'm really pleased that I've got her in the collection, and I think she's going to sort of stand front and centre of my What If display. I'm just going to have a play around to get that shield into a bit of a better place. See if I just bend her wrist slightly like you used to do with the Captain America figures that we got with these shields. You can obviously make that shield stay on, but I don't want to kind of cover up the the chest emblem, but obviously I want to have the shield and show as well. So I don't know how I'm going to have a play around with it, but it's definitely a nice figure. Now if you are enjoying the 5-minute figure reviews, please do like, share, subscribe and all of those things. Do check out my channel for some other 5-minute figure reviews on other figures, and do keep an eye open because I will be having a look at the entire What If wave at some point. Thanks very much.